the way that you engage and your. That's what, you know, what I mentioned earlier. That's what I wrote about on Facebook. It's that presence, you know.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Anyway, so
it's when you're in your element.
That is my element.
Yes.
I love being on stage.
Yes.
I adore it.
Yes.
I actually after I gave birth to my son and my husband tried to get me to stop singing, I was like, you might as well ask me to stop breathing.
Yes.
I would actually pay people to come and listen. It's a wonder that they are paying me to give me this feeling.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I would pay them to come and listen.
Yes.
And he was my biggest fan. He had just gotten upset because something had happened in the industry that just tore my heart.
Yes.
And he was like, well, why don't you just stop it?
Yes.
If
it's
giving you this much grief. And I was like, you might just as well ask me to stop breathing.
Yes.
That's not going to happen.
Yes.
And anyway, so Lebu sees me on stage. He called Julie Taymor there and then. And he was like, I've found our Rafiki. And I'm standing next to him. He's got this huge cigar. And I couldn't breathe. And I'm thinking, what is he talking about?
Yes.
And he says, I've found our Rafiki. And I'm going to send it to London to you next week. And I'm thinking, he's sending me to London. Who told him? Did I say yes to this man?
He just knew.
but long story short, I did go to London.
Yes.
My darling Lisa Loeb, who was my manager at the time.
Yes.
Lifelong friend, more than 30 years. She's the one who got me into the Hyatt.
Yes.
Put things in place, as she always does. Within a few days, a miracle was done, and I was on a flight to London, and I went to do the audition. I got there, and Julie Taymor loved me, and I'm thinking, why? I'm deaf sometimes. Anyway, did the audition. She loved it. They asked me to do some songs, traditional songs that I liked. I did some mountain songs for them. And she loved it, and she said, "Go back home," because I was not going to sleep over. I was going right back to the airport, flying back.
Yes.
And after the audition, I told Lee, I've done this, I've finished. I hope we get it, but don't.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. I don't want to be disappointed. Yes. Yes.
And she's like, "Okay, darling, as long as you did your best, I will." Took my bags to the airport. I get to the airport. As soon as I board, Lisa calls me. They just called.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, okay, I didn't get it.
Yes.
She's like, you are going to be my It was the most amazing time. I thank them for the opportunity, for the platform, the international. I made so many friends.
Yes.
I met so many international stars personally, you know.
Yes.
Some of them we still connect on Facebook.
Yes. You've got an international community.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And we're actually talking the guys that we met in The Lion King. We're talking about putting together a production.
Yes.
To tour the States.
Yes.
So
your own production. You're going to work on a production.
We're talking
together,
about that now. Yes. And the opportunities that Lebu afforded me are amazing.
But I think it's also important to note that you're also an actor. So for me, you know, that's a beautiful. You can perform as an actor and sing at the same time.
Yes. It wasn't easy. Lisa had to do some things, had to teach me some things, had to, you know, find people to tutor me, but it turned out I could also do that.
Yes. Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's the whole point. One should, you know. Yes. So surely, you know, I find as a performer, and I'm sure you agree, when you do a big gig, it's inspiring, it's enlivening. You get home, you can't sleep until the wee hours of the morning because you've got all this adrenaline. But it's also exhausting.
It is very
You'll find the next day you're like, wow, I gave a lot out, you know. And there's a beauty, and I'll never complain about it, but that's the fact. But performing at that level every single day must really hone your skills. But also hone your skills.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a discipline in itself.
Theatre was a whole new discipline for me.
Yes.
And it
Because
taught
you've
me-
done a bit with film and
Yes, but I'd
yes.
never done theatre.
Yes.
And it was a whole new platform.
Yes.
I learned so much about discipline,
Yes.
about how to conduct yourself on stage,
Yes.
respecting your audience because they are
Yes.
right there in front of you. They can
Yes.
see every nuance. You know, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yes.
It was. I still thank God for that opportunity.
Yes.
I still thank God for that opportunity.
Some of the other things you've been doing as well. I mean, have been co-writing scores. Tell us about that
Lebu
one.
also.
Yes.
Lebu also. God is African I did with Nick Eaton.
Yes, for Tsotsi.
For Tsotsi. I co-wrote on 2 of the songs that were on the soundtrack.
Which, of course, went on to win an Oscar.
An Oscar, yes.
Yes.
And I can say that in my
Yes.
CV. My resume is rich.
I'm so thankful that somebody of your caliber is
My head is getting big. Anyway, so and Lebu was doing a docudrama called Long Nights Walking Today, and he called me in to assist with the backtrack with the score, and I did 2 songs with him, and it also got nominated for an Oscar.
Wow. Wow. No, it's fantastic. It is fantastic.
Yeah. It is.
And I think these are important things for people to realize, and that's part of why I wanted to speak about these things, because very often people have this image of an artist, and that's what she goes on stage and she sings her material, or she works
And
with
that's
Mahouba.
it.
Yes, and they don't realize, the way that the skills can be adapted and used in different ways, and that you might not have released an album for a few years, but you've been doing.
You're working.
You are working. Yes. Then we've got time for a couple more songs, so we better move on. This one, I know you've expressed that it's very important to you.
Never Loved a Man?
Yes. Yes.
As I told you, I always like to have one song
yes.
that I cover.
Yes.
This is a song, Margaret Mcingane.
Yes.
It's called I Never Loved a Man.
Yes.
I gave it a little Phinda twist.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
it.
And
also
this,
dedicated to my baby.
Thank you so much. Phinda Matlala, Phinda Myta, just Phinda. The album is called Koloko, and this is Never Loved
a Man.
A Man. We've got to speak about where people can get the albums when we come back on the other side of this. It is The World Show. I'm Nicky B, and it's my honor and my pleasure.